James here from livingonawoodenboat.com. I wanted to go over some of the products that we're using on our teak deck repair slash rot repair. And just to go over what happened is we had some areas around the water tanks where they, for some reason, used short pieces of the teak decking, and those little short pieces bananaed up, if you will, and created huge leaks in the back. So it just happened over time. So what we did was we sanded those down and we filled them, but in an effort to make a good repair, we actually had to remove the quarter round or the trim piece from the bottom of the house where the aft house meets the deck. And there we found a bunch of rot. And so, as with most boat projects, one project leads to the next before you can finally finish the first. And that's where we ended up. So I wanted to go through some products here real quick before you start to see the rest of the videos. So what we've got here, first and foremost, if you're going to do any wood repair, you have to have the correct wood. Now, our boat was made from the factory with thick-faced mahogany, and I really should be using thick-faced mahogany on this. At least that's my consensus. Instead, I'm using thick-faced teak, and then here you can see it's got, you know, these little, well, this is full 1/8 inch of teak. Now it's and then it's got, you know, some okuma in the middle there. Sorry, there, that's a little better shot. It's expensive. You can buy it at, specifically I buy it at the Nickerson hardware store. Any place that can get products from East Teak, and East Teak is a company in Monroe that sells teak products. Anyway, you could Google them and they'll tell you where to go to get their stuff. They don't sell it to the general public. So anyway, you got to have good wood when you're making repairs. I like teak because teak is an oily wood, and I like the thick face because that actually gives you some wood rather than just layers of glue. Then the next thing that we use is Sculpt Wood. Sorry, I'm saying a lot of times trying to monitor that. And Sculpt Wood is my very favorite product for repairing wood. And what it is a 2-part epoxy. Let me see here. I think yeah, this is the epoxy, and this is the hardener, I believe here. And basically, you just you know, you dole equal amounts out. I use a putty knife to get in there and scrape some out, or sometimes you can just scoop it out with your hand. And then you combine the two pieces until you get a nice texture, a nice smooth tan color that's all one color. And it works really good. You can see here they use the example where they form it in to a newel post there. And in a little while I'll take you outside and show you how I used Sculpt Wood to repair a piece of wood that would have just been impossible to replace. So good stuff, works really good. The next thing that I want to get to before we get to the Sculpt Wood, or before we go back to anything else, is you're going to have various caulking tubes. It is absolutely imperative to have a decent caulking gun. You will you will hurt your hand very badly. This particular one is a newborn, which I got online. The most important thing is not the brand, but it's right here. If you look real close, let's see if we can get in there. I don't know if you can. It's an 18-to-1 ratio. There it is right there at the top. So that means that it has a lot of pushing power to push out thick things like these polysulfide deck caulkings. So specifically I use the Boat Life. It's about 20 bucks a tube, and it's black caulking that goes in the seams between the pieces of teak deck. The other thing, so that's more deck repair. I should have kind of gone to this first and then gone around that, but hey, I'm not a professional. Or maybe. Anyway, this is a 2-part thickened epoxy. It's a really slick little deal because it's half of it is the hardener and half of it is the epoxy, and you put a mixing tip on the top of this and you put it in your caulking gun, and it comes out already pre-mixed. And if the tip has graduated little spots that you can cut off so that you can control the flow. That is what we use to attach this to the good wood outside. So anyway, those are just a few products that we use. 610 is this specific epoxy, and it's the one that I found works the best. Anything by West Systems is made for fiberglass repair, and it works really, really good. And again, the Boat Life Teak Deck Sealant is just a polysulfide caulking. For anybody that's familiar with automotive business, the Right Stuff is a really thick silicone alternative, and what that is a polysulfide. So you get an idea of what it is. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk soon.